There's been plenty of racing action in the province over the last week or two, and plenty more action to come. But we race at Hollywood Bets Greyville on the Polytrack on Wednesday the 19th of May 2021, where 8 races will present themselves to us, and not as exciting racing as we've experienced recently, but good racing nevertheless. My colleague and co-host and good friend is in studio with me. Graham, how are you today? And it would be remiss if we didn't open the show, and maybe we could dedicate the show today to Naresh Juglal.
Absolutely tragic news. But as I say, and I'm sure Naresh would agree, the show has to go on. I thought, the tributes have just been fantastic. He was a wonderful young man and a wonderful talent.
I just can't seem to get my head around, as I say, young man with young kids, a young wife, tragedy. Death is not nice at all, but tragedy so young.
Yeah, it's always even worse when it happens at your place of work.
Yes.
In his case, on a racetrack. Accidents happen. Unfortunately, people succumb to car accidents and all sorts of other mishaps. But when it happens on the racetrack, as is the case, I would imagine, with a Formula One driver, soccer player who happens to collapse on the field, it just makes the tragedy so much more difficult to understand. It was an horrific accident, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Chaya, the kids, the family. But he will be remembered for a long time.
He certainly will. So our show today is to Naresh and to the Juglal family. Let's kick off with proceedings here. The first race, Graham, is a maiden juvenile plate for fillies over 1,000 metres at 12:25. So we'll be in the afternoon on Wednesday. Paul Peters in town again, and yes, he certainly does look to set the standard here with number 4, Promise of Hope. But there are 2 horses that jump out at me. One is number 5, Perfect Appeal, whom I believe can improve on that fair debut effort. And the unraced runner number 6, Ancient Appeal by Vercingetorix, Lyle Hurtson from a banging form stable. I'm not going to leave them out, but I do believe that number 4, Promise of Hope, could be tough to beat.
2 good runs on the Highveld. As you've mentioned, Paul Peter comes into town with 4 runners, all of which appear live wires in their respective races. Promise of Hope, 3rd on debut, followed that up with a good second. I say good second, well beaten on both occasions, no direct winners out of those form lines. But Paul knows what it takes generally to win a race up here at Hollywood Bets Greyville on the Polytrack. That being said, of course, he will know nothing about Perfect Appeal as to whether that's improved since its debut. He'll know nothing about Ancient Epic, or for that matter, Chinny Rose or Snow Tune. All of those first-timers are quite short in the betting, as is number 7, Lazuli, 2-year-old chestnut, daughter of Trippy. Warren Kennedy riding for Gavin Finsale. Not a bad debut effort, so plenty of scope for improvement. I think that number 4, Promise of Hope, shapes up as a bipod banker, but clearly here the betting is going to be a vital clue as to the potential outcome of the race. Still early days. Promise of Hope was priced up on Monday at 7-10, Perfect Appeal 7-1, Ancient Epic 11-2, Lazuli 9-2, and Chinny Rose 15-2. But I guess the betting here is certainly going to fluctuate, and any strong market support must be respected.
Okay, I do believe that Promise of Hope is certainly a bipod banker. I agree with Graham, but as he suggests, and I suggest, to keep an eye out on the betting closer to race time. But for those with limited budgets like most of us, banker Paul Peters' horse, race 1.